IGT, baby.
What's cracking, y'all? It's your boy Junior Mafia coming back to you with another video. So we got to talk about some breaking news that happened over the weekend, and that was the New Day leaving WWE. And we also have two more releases from the MFTs, JC Mateo and Tonga Loa. So I want to unpack all of this that happened. This shocked the hell out of me once I found out the news. I didn't get a chance to really record it yesterday when I found out because I was with my kids and all. But I'm here now, so it's time that we dissect this whole thing. So I'm gonna talk about first JC Mateo and Tonga Loa. For Tonga Loa, when we saw him for the first time when he pulled up with Tama Tonga, a part of Solo's version of the Bloodline. We didn't expect much out of him, to be honest, and we know, between him and Tama Tonga will be the one that will probably get some more shine, and just be that focal point when it comes down to being both the brothers. And with Tonga Loa in this case, it's like, between his botches and everything else, I didn't expect more out of him and all, and it kind of sucked because they could have had potential to do something with this team, albeit you saw how, when Solo, formed them and then inserted Jacob Fatu, and how they was dominating Roman Reigns when he came back, and this was the Roman Reigns who was vulnerable. They had them looking strong, but the sheer fact that they didn't capitalize on it and they were just taking loss after loss, especially for Solo in that particular situation, it kind of fell flat. And then you brought him back again, but this time you insert JC Mateo into the mix, and albeit it had something going for like a little bit, and then it just completely fell flat. And then they just been inserted with them fighting with the YS6 all the time, and that wasn't completely going anywhere. So it was at this point where it was pretty much dead in the waters, and it was just waiting for the right time to where they decided to dismantle this team, because I didn't envision the circumstance that it was going to last this long, in WWE and all that stuff. So it kind of sucked, but we kind of sort of writing on the wall based on how they was going in that direction. And I'll get more into talking about the tag team division and what needs to change, but I wanted to dissect that whole situation there. And now it's time to get to the meat and potatoes of this video, and that is the New Day. I'm highly upset that this whole thing went down, and I know coming from the news, reading the article, they was pretty much talking about that TKO and what they was trying to offer the New Day, as a contract extension. The New Day, stuff like Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, they wasn't feeling that, and they feel like they should deserve more from what TKO was asking, and because they didn't meet those standards and all that stuff, they just decided to part ways and say, all right, we're gonna be up out of here. And what sucks about that, because the run the New Day had up until this release pissed me off. And it pissed me off because it has so much potential and they fumbled big time. This is the same tag team who was 13-time WWE Tag Team Champions, who literally, outside of the Usos, carried this division for so many years. And you look at this from a standpoint of individual, like the accolades they have of Kofi Kingston, who had a long run in the company, winning the IC title, winning the tag team champion, winning the WWE champion, and then you have Big E, who won the tag team champions, who was Intercontinental champion, who was WWE champion, and of course it's Xavier Woods. You know, not only having the tag team championships as well, but also winning King of the Ring. So these are three individuals who had very subpar accolades, and of course that every time when they had that run, you know, that was must watch. And when they had something going on, when Big E being sidelined with the neck injury, and they were just Kofi and Xavier, you know, they had this storyline where another person who was gone from WWE and that being Karrion Kross kept playing mind games with Xavier Woods and telling him like, yo, you paired up with Kofi, you know, he's pretty much holding you back. Like he's like that anchor that's like really keeping you still from what you can achieve and all, and try to break them up. So you see how every week, whenever they was in the matches and all and they lose, you saw that kind of like friction going on between the two, and it was going somewhere to the point where they started having a fallout. And I forgot what match it was that they lost to. Y'all can let me know in the comments down below. After that match, you see Xavier Woods and Kofi walking back, and the camera's following them past Gorilla, and all that stuff. And that promo had to be one of the best ones I saw there. And it was leading up to, I think, the New Day's anniversary celebration that following week. And of course, Big E was going to be there. So when that whole thing went down, and you see Big E trying to like keep them together, tell them the history of, you know, where we came from, where we are now, and how much that it means to the tag team division, and trying to keep them together. And he's even talking about managing them. They went from turning on each other to turning on Big E. And the amount of heat they had got by doing that, it was past Dominic's heat. And that was rare, because if y'all know one thing, at that time, the most superstar that had the nuclear heat, you know, in that business was Dominic Mysterio, bar none. And the New Day was getting that. You know, Kofi and Xavier was getting that. And that was something that they could have took and ran with, and let them be in tag team champions. And don't matter if they have taken losses at all, but it could have been a situation where, you know, them pulling off heel tactics and all that too, and just being absolute pricks. You could have done something with that. But the fact that they didn't take advantage of that opportunity and let it slip away, you know, it could have been one of those best heel runs from them, but they never capitalized on it. And ever since then, they started being in catering a little more now. They were underutilized as much as we know how they'd be a part of. And then you insert Grayson Waller into the mix, and as a quote unquote replacement for Big E, but that completely haven't gone anywhere. And at this point, it was completely flatline. And it was just, it upset me a lot, because of the opportunities that they could have gotten and what they could have done with this tag team division and all. This is the same tag team that faced the Usos multiple times and it came out as banger matches. If you haven't already, I advise y'all, go check out the New Day versus the Uso matches, especially the ones they had when it was a Hell in a Cell match. Absolute chef kiss. They always knocked it out the park. But for somehow, some way, you know, they continue to not put close attention on the tag team division and let it go to absolute shit. You know, this will always have frustrated me a lot with WWE, and not having somebody that knows what they're doing when it comes down to specific matches and superstars. Because here's what I would want the most for the future right here. I want somebody who is the head of charge when it comes down to tag teams, whether it's on Raw or SmackDown, don't matter, that knows what they see, what they can do, and actually fix this to what tag team wrestling used to be years ago. Because the state as it is in now and the releases that's been happening, I do not see a situation where it gets better. Especially the way TKO is handling things now, it's gonna continue to go down this deep hole to where it takes away from the excitement of wrestling. I was like, it's reaching that type of level right now. And we never expect the New Day, out of all people, to decide to up and leave. And it's just bad, man. It's sad. It's frustrating. Everything underneath the sun. Like, it's really just that horrific. And like I said, I wish them nothing but the best, man. And I really hope, wherever they land at, Xavier Woods and Kofi, whether that's TNA or AEW, they deserve better. They deserve better. Because this is utterly ridiculous. And just the sheer fact of storylines they could have had told and they could have had utilized them better. Like, they are the epitome of a tag team, outside of the Usos. But that's how I feel, man. Like, that just still frustrates me, man. And words can't express how I'm feeling. It really can't. Because it's not, what do you do in this situation now? How do you pivot from losing one of your best tag teams now and recover from that? We're going to have to see. But I'm not feeling it at all. And this makes me hate TKO even more. Like, I had hatred for them, but now it's getting even worse now. To the point where I'm starting to get frustrated every time I watch Raw, SmackDown, or PLE, because I already know in the back of my head they are literally pulling the strings on what's going on in the business. And I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. They need to focus on marketing and leave their fucking hands off of creating. That's all I ask. You worry about getting the venues, trying to promote, all of those things. But when it comes down to how WWE do things and what made WWE what it was years ago, how we know they are capable of, you let them handle that. But they need to just take a back seat and stay out of the way. Stay out of the fucking way. Because this shit is going to get worse now, for years to come. And the fact that it's happening now when you let some of your best superstars go, I don't understand, man. And it frustrates me. But comment down below. Let me know how y'all feel about the New Day being released or them leaving. I want to say released, but them going and all of that stuff. And how you also feel about JC Mateo and Tonga Loa leaving and all. So, because people got different opinions and all that stuff. And I definitely want to hear y'all side of it in the comments down below. But I appreciate y'all love and support. Road to 250 subscribers. Continue to keep God first as a process of anything that you do at life. Your time will come. And I'm going to catch y'all in the next video. Peace.
Game over, yeah!